Hello, everybody. This is Pastor Green. We're doing another Read the Bible in 1 year, day 138, Esther 1 through 3. Make sure you guys subscribe to my channel, click the notification bell, that way you get updated whenever I post a new video. Like the video and also comment. Anything you comment's going to help with the algorithm. I really appreciate it. Remember, I'm dyslexic and I stutter, so if I see a big word, sometimes I get a little confused. Just bear with me. And here we go. Esther chapter 1. Now it came to pass in the days of Azarias, this Azarias which reigned from India even into Ethiopia, over 127 provinces, that in those days when the king Artaxerxes sat on the throne of his kingdom, which was in Shushan the palace, in the 3rd year of his reign he made a feast unto all the princes and to his servants, the power of Persia and Media, the nobles and princes of the provinces being before him, when he showed the riches of his glorious kingdom and the honor of his excellence majesty many days, even 180 days. And in those days were expired, the king made a feast unto all the people that were present in Shushan the palace, both of the great and small, 7 days in the court of the garden of the king's palace, where were white, green, and blue hangings, fastened with cords of fine linen, and purple to silver rings, and pillows of marble. The beds were gold and silver upon a pavement of red, and blue, and white, and black marble. And they gave them drink in vessels of gold, the vessels being diverse from one another, and a royal wine in abundance, according to the state of the king. And in the drinking was according to the law, none did compel, for so the king has appointed all the officers of his house, that they should do according to every man's pleasure. Also Vashti the queen made a feast of the women of the royal house, which belonged to the king Ahasuerus. On the 7th day, when the heart of the king was merry with wine, he commanded Mehiam, Bathiah, Harbiah, Bithiah, and Abigail, Zithiar, and Carcas, the 7 chamberlains that served the presence of Ahasuerus the king, to bring Vashti the queen before the king and the crown royal, to show the people and the princes her beauty, for she was fair to look upon. And the queen Vashti refused to come to the king's commandment by his chamberlains. Therefore was the king very wroth, and his anger burned in him. And the king said to the wise men, which knew the times, for so the king's manner towards all that knew law and judgment. And the next to him was Karshiah, Shetar, Amanah, Tarshish, Meridius, Marshina, and Mikmahan, the 7 princes of Persia and Media, which saw the king's face, and which sat at the first of the kingdom. What shall we do to the queen Vashti according to the law, because she has not performed the commandment of the king, Ahasuerus by the chambermaids? And Machlan answered before the king and the princes, Vashti the queen has not done wrong to the king only, but also to all the princes, and to all the people that are in the provinces of the king Ahasuerus. For the deed of the queen shall come abroad to all women, so that they shall despise their husbands in their eyes, when it shall be reported. The king Ahasuerus commanded Vashti the queen to be brought before him, but she came not. Likewise shall the ladies of Persia and Media say to this day unto the king's princes, which have heard of the deed of the queen, thus there is arise too much contempt and wrath. If it pleases the king, let us go a royal commandment on him, and let it be written among the laws of the Persians and the Medes, and not be altered, that Vashti come out no more to the king Ahasuerus, and let the king give a royal estate to another that is better than she. And when the king's decree which he shall make to publish throughout all of his empire, for it is great, and the wives shall give to their husbands honor, both to great and small. And the same pleased the king and the princes, and the king did according to the word of Mumakan. For he sent letters to the king's provinces, to every province according to the written thereof, and to every people after their language, that every man should bear rule of his own house, that it should be published according to the language of every people. Esther chapter 2. After these things, when the wrath of King Ahasuerus was pleased, he remembered Vashti and what she had done and what decreed against her. Then he said to the king's servants that ministered unto him, let there be a fair young virgin sought out for the king. And let the king appoint officers in all the provinces of the kingdom, that they may gather together all the fair young virgins into Shushan the palace, to the house of the women, unto the custody of Hedge the king's chamberlain, keeper of the women, and let their things be for purification be given to them. And let the maiden which pleases the king be queen instead of Vashti. And the thing pleased the king, and he did so. Now in Shushan the palace there was a certain Jew, whose name was Mordecai, the son of Jair, the son of Shemiel, the son of Kish, a Benjamite, who had been carried away by Jerusalem from the captivity which has been carried away from Joachim, the king of Judah, whom Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, had carried away. And he brought up Hashai, that is Esther, his uncle's daughter, for she neither father nor mother. And the maid was fair and beautiful, whom Mordecai, when her father and mother were dead, took for his own daughter. It came to pass when the king's commandment and his decree was heard, that when many maidens were gathered together to Shushan the palace, to the custody of Haggai, that Esther was brought also to the king's house in the custody of Haggai, keeper of the women. And the maiden pleased him, and she obtained kindness of him, and he speedily gave her things of purification, which these things belonged to her, and 7 maidens which were met to keep her out of the king's house, and preferred her and her maids to the best place of the house of the women. Esther had not showed her people nor her kindred, for Mordecai had charged her that she should not show it. And Mordecai walked every day before the court of the woman's house to know how Esther did, and what should become of her. Now when every man's turn had come to King Ahasuerus, after she had been 12 months, according to the manner of the women, for so the days of the purification accomplished, to wit 6 months of oils of myrrh, and 6 months of sweet odors, and with other things for the purification of the women. Then thus came every maiden into the king, whosoever she desired was given to her with her out of the house of the women of the king's house. And in the evening she went, and on the morrow she returned to the second house of the women, to the custody of Shashgaz, the king's chamberlain, which kept the concubines. She came into the king no more, except the king delighted in her, and she was called by name. Now when the turns of Esther, the daughter of Abihail, the uncle of Mordecai, who had taken her for his daughter, was coming to go to the king, she required nothing but Haggai, the king's chamberlain, the keeper of the women, appointed, and Esther obtained favor in the sight of all of them that looked upon her. So Esther was taken to the king Ahasuerus into the house royal to the 10th month, which is the month Tebeth, in the 7th year of his reign. And the king loved Esther above all the women, and she obtained grace and favor in his sight more than all the other virgins. So she set the royal crown upon her head, and made her queen instead of Vashti. And the king made a great feast unto all the princes and his servants, even Esther's feast. And he made a release to the provinces, and gave gifts according to the state of the king. And when the virgins were gathered together the second time, then Mordecai sat at the king's gate. Esther had not yet showed her kindred nor her people, as Mordecai had charged her, for Esther did the commandments of Mordecai, like as when she was brought up with him. And in those days when Mordecai sat at the king's gate, 2 of the king's chamberlains, Bigthai and Teresh, who was keeper of the door, were wroth, and sought to lay hands on the king Ahasuerus. And the thing was known to Mordecai, who told it to Esther the queen, and Esther certified the king thereof of Mordecai's name. And when the acquisition was made to the matter, it was found out. Therefore they were both hanged on a tree, and it was written in the book of the Chronicles before the king. Esther chapter 3. After these things did King Ahasuerus promote Haman the son of Hammedatha the Agite, and advanced him, and set his seat above all the princes that were with him. And the king's servant that were in the king's gate bowed and reverenced Haman, for the king had so commanded concerning him. But Mordecai bowed not, nor did his reverence. Then the king's servants which were in the king's gate said unto Mordecai, Why transgressest thou the king's commandment? Now it came to pass when they spoke leally unto him, and he hearkened not unto them, that they told Haman to see whether Mordecai's matters would stand, for he had told them that he was a Jew. And when Haman saw that Mordecai bowed not, nor did him reverence, then was Haman full of wrath. So he thought scorn to lay hands on Mordecai alone, for they had shown him to the people of Mordecai. Wherefore Haman sought to destroy all the Jews that were throughout the whole kingdom of Ahasuerus, even the people of Mordecai. In the first month, that is, the month Nisan, in the 12th year of the king Ahasuerus, they cast pur, that is, a lot, before Haman from day to day, and from month to month, for the 12th month, that is, in the month of Adar. And Haman said to King Ahasuerus, There is a certain people scattered across and dispersed among the people in all the province of thy kingdom, and their laws are diverse from all people. Neither keep they the king's law, therefore it is not for the king's profit to suffer them. If it pleases the king, let it be written that they may be destroyed, and I will pay 10,000 talents of silver to the hands of those that have charged the business, to bring it to the king's treasures. And the king took his ring from his hand, and gave it to Haman, the son of Hammedatha the Agite, the Jews' enemy. And the king said unto Haman, The silver is given to thee, the people also to do with them as it seemeth good unto thee. And when the king's scribes called the 13th day of the first month, and it was written according to all that Haman had commanded, unto the king's lieutenants, and to the governors that were over every province, and to the rulers of every people of every province, according to the writings thereof, and to every people after their language, in the manner of King Ahasuerus was written and sealed with the king's ring. And the letter was sent by post to all the king's provinces, to destroy, to kill, and to cause to perish all Jews, both young and old, little children and women, in one day, even upon the 13th day of the 12th month, which is the month Adar, to take the spoil of them for a prey. And the copy of the writing for a commandment to be given in every province was published to all people, that they should be ready again that day. The post went out, being hastened by the king's commandment, and the decree was given in Shushan the palace. The king and Haman sat down to drink, but the city Shushan was perplexed. Well, guys, that's the video. I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, like the video, and also comment. I'm going to put a couple links on the screen. The bottom right is going to be the Read the Bible in 1 Year study. The top left is going to be a playlist I think you're going to like. And the bottom left is going to be a video YouTube thinks you're going to like. I appreciate you guys watching. If you know somebody that might benefit from this, please share it with them. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Have yourself a great day.